Okay, so in this video, we're going to go through some of the different ways that we can customize this spreadsheet once we've got it set up. We've got it so that it's taking the students, taking the book levels, and showing their different assessments that they've taken throughout the year. Now, the first thing is when you're trying to customize this, you don't want to customize the locked sheets or the locked parts of sheets. And you can see what happens when I try to do that. It's going to give me a warning. So I'm going to cancel that. The reason why this matters is because all of this data is getting pulled in from a query, which is going to pull the data from this spreadsheet here. And so if I go to try to change this, the error I'm going to get, let's say okay, is that this result, this query that it's pulling would have to overwrite this data in order to work. And it's not going to overwrite that data. And so if I go in and try to change that, it's not going to work. So basically anything that says be careful changing this, unless you really know what you're doing, don't change it. There's only certain cells that you want to change, and we're going to show that in a second here. What you can change is this form responses sheet. So you can see there's no lockdown here. This is the one where if you're going to edit some data that you want to get pulled through the calculated data in the dashboard, this is where you want to edit it at. So let's say I had this student, Justin, take these assessments, but I entered them on the 16th, but he really took them on the 2nd, the 4th, the 8th, the 10th, and the 12th. So we've got kind of his data over time here. What you can see is that follows all the way through. So that date change is on the calculated data and also on the dashboard. Now what you're looking at, when we look at our dashboard, how that feeds in here is that if I look at my earliest one, this kid took 17 words and got 15 of them right. His accuracy was 88.2%. Now I'm trying to calculate what his average cold read words per minute is and what his hot read words per minute is. And this first one wasn't so good. He wasn't great at it, but we've practiced for 10 full days and now he's a lot better at it. And so maybe I want to only use the last 3 assessments when I'm calculating these averages. So here's how I can do that. When I look at my query, this is what's deciding which data is going to get pulled into this spreadsheet. The first thing that I can do is I can order these data. Right? You can see that they're ordered from oldest to newest. What I want to do is get them ordered from newest, latest to oldest and put my oldest ones down at the bottom. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to put order by column A. Is saying I want to use this column in order to order this data. And when I click enter, nothing changed because the regular order by is going to go in ascending order. So it's going to go oldest, then a little bit newer, then a little bit newer, then a little bit newer. I think of it as the lowest number up to the highest number. So what I want to do is I want to go order by A, descending, DESC, and then I type it in. And now all of my data is going to get ordered by the newest assessment first, down to the oldest. Okay, so now that I've got it ordered, there's a couple of different things I can do. First, I can limit how much data is getting pulled into this spreadsheet. So right in front of this quotation mark, like I did before, because I want to be typing inside of that query, I can type in limit 3 and click enter. So now I'm only bringing in the first 3 trials or the latest 3 trials out of my calculated data. And because these formulas are taking the average of the entire column, I'm only taking the averages of the 3 columns or the 3 rows, the 3 entries. So that's one option that I can do. But maybe I want to see all of my data at the same time. I just want to take the averages and the calculations of the last 3 or the latest 3. So the way I can do that is I can change my formulas. So I have all of my data on here. If we look at my formula, it's taking from D8 all the way down that column. And so if I wanted to take the latest 3, I would only take the average down to D10. So I'm going to add in a 10 here. You can see that my average is only being taken of these 3 numbers. So I'm going to go through and change these. And there we go. So now I'm taking the average cold read words per minute of my latest 3, but I'm seeing all of the data. And again, if I want to change this, maybe I only want to show 2 decimal places. That's how I do that. So we're sitting pretty good there. If I was going to do something like this, I would probably latest 3 trials is what I would say for this, just so I remembered that I'm only taking these averages of the latest 3 trials. So that's how you can customize that using your query. Use the order by and the descending or the limit to do that. It's important to write inside of this quotation mark and to make sure that you're using the exact same wording so that nothing gets screwed up with that. Now, if you look over here with my book levels attempted, I have, because they attempted 4 trials with book level 1, it's showing each one of those trials. And so I'm just going to try to clean this up. If it's annoying, this might be something that you want to do. So I'm going to move this over into the next column down, and I'm going to use a formula called unique. Now I'm going to take the unique values out of this column. And again, I'm going to get rid of the 8 so that I'm taking the entire column, so that in the future, when this column gets expanded or it keeps going down, we're going to still get those values into our book levels. So I'm going to click enter. And now I'm only getting 1 and 1.5 because those are the only 2 different values that are showing up in there. If this was annoying, I could take this text and change it to white so that those are blocked out. But then you got to remember that there is data in these cells, which maybe could be an issue. So I'm going to change it back to black right there. So that's how you can do a little bit of customization on this SPED reading stats form. Remember to just change in the form responses any of the values that you're doing. It'll get pulled all the way through here.